Hello everybody, this is daily app number 20 I think, and today I want to talk about a problem that I'm seeing with the algorithms and the platforms, which is that basically the algorithm makes us lie. So what do I mean by this? Of course the algorithm itself cannot make you do anything, but it can incentivize you to do certain things. And let's be clear, the algorithm, when I talk about that, I mean the underlying systems that are behind all these platforms that decide what gets to be shown to you or not, or more other people, right? So what goes viral, what doesn't, and so. And the thing is that the algorithm, honestly, the only thing that does is maximizing engagement, right? And that means your attention. Like the more time that you are actually watching things, it's the better for the algorithm. So the algorithm in that sense is neutral, right? Like it doesn't really take any moral stand on what it wants to show you. It's just whatever catches your attention. So say, for example, like I'm a musician, an unprofessional one, and I do get a lot of recommendations about music videos and like music theory because it's something that I care about, that I think it's interesting. And the same thing with someone that's a huge football fan, maybe they will get videos about like, oh, see, look at the best compilations and all that. So, up to that point, everything's great, right? That I think it was the YouTube of like around the 2010s. And okay, all great. But what's other thing that always cuts the human attention? And those are two things. One is sexualization, right? Like if you see, a half-naked woman that's super sexy, you're bound to look at it. I'm not saying like staring at it, but it's going to catch your attention. It's going to be like, oh, what's this? So maybe when you're scrolling down your feed, you see like, things that you don't mind, and then you see this half-naked woman, and then you will stop for a little bit, I'm not saying that this is like, oh, I'm going to like look at her, but it's something that once again, like it's like hardwired into our brains, right? Like we're bound to do this. And the same thing applies for girls, I think to a lesser extent because they are less visual than men, but it also applies to girls. But anyway, so, sexualization in itself is a big topic. I might talk about that, about that in a future video. But the one that I really want to put my attention on is the second one, which is fear, fear or like danger, right? Because, the fear that comes from the danger. Every time that I go into YouTube, I see more and more thumbnails with exactly like the same format. And it's honestly like exhausting. It's like super annoying. It's like someone with a surprise face, either to the right side or to the left side or the middle, or like a pissed off face, like or like, wow, so surprised, and then a title that's really misleading, that's the only way that I can put it. Sure, some of them are not untrue, they might be phrased in a different way, but that's still something that is misleading. And I think that's a problem. And why is that? It's because if you actually put and I think a lot of like people that are like science-based or like into the academy talk about this, is that the papers, the actual papers titles, they're like super oddly specific and kind of boring, it's like proving that there's a measurable effect when you take, I don't know, so-and-so condition. And YouTube videos are the other way. It's like, this study changes it all, right? Or like, oh, this race will be history in the track and field. Or what this guy is doing is unheard of. And once again, like sometimes they are actually that way, right? It is something that's worth mentioning. But most of the time, I mean the overwhelming majority of the time, it's just a bullshit way to get your attention. And, once again, that by itself, annoying. Like everyone has been clickbaited, I think. And you find it annoying when it's like, oh, but this video said or showed that it was going to show me something and then it never did, right? It wastes your time. You feel annoyed. You might like unsubscribe. Like I've definitely have unsubscribed from some channels for just being too clickbait. Or of course, the usual drama, they go like, oh, and they put like this huge thing and then it's not that big, But what I want to talk about like this topic in specific is not about, once again, like the algorithm or the fact that these clickbaity things exist, like the thumbnails. But what I think it's a much bigger and underlying problem is the normalization of lying. Yeah, actually I should call that video this, like normalization of lying, because that's what really I think that it's a big problem. Now, what do I mean by this? if you're in the real world and you're always like exaggerating everything, you will be called out, right? And that will make you either embarrassed, or you're going to be like, yeah, but I'm not being like super serious, so it's a joke, and everyone knows it's a joke because you are like sharing the story, right? In person it's so much easier to do that. However, online you just see the first thing, right? The thumbnail, and you take at face value what it tells you, right? If it's like a haul, okay, it will be a haul. If it's like a share opinion, okay, or a video essay, sure. But the thing is that more and more videos are just straight up lying about what they will show you, what they will say, or the fact that they're going to talk about. Like it, like when I think to my experience, I watch so many videos that were promising huge change, super important information. Everyone should know this. Everyone should talk about this. Up to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to like not believe like anything that the thumbnails say. And once again, like this might vary from channel to channel. There are definitely some channels that try to avoid the clickbait thing, and personally, I really appreciate that. Now I know that I'm a very minority, like very small minority here, because I think the reason why all these techniques work, the reason why all these techniques exist and they keep on existing, it's exactly because they work, right? Like for most people, they don't mind being slightly lied to if they're entertained in the video. And that thing, like that specific thing, that incentive that these platforms are giving us, sorry, the birds, it's something that's really vicious, I think. Like think about it for a second. Like now we're at a point in life, in society, where lying is so normalized that almost nobody gets called out for it if it's in a way that it's like quote unquote harmful. So for example, I talk about YouTube a lot because that's what I mostly consume, but also Instagram, like I've seen so many reels that you see and it's like, oh my God, that's outrageous. How can he or she say or do that? And then you go to the comments and they're like, oh, notice this, it's staged. And then, some are like pretty obviously staged, but there are a lot more that are not. So if you're not really paying attention, you might believe that actually happened. And with social media, you're basically like seeing what other people has to say, and you see that the people that lie actually are the ones that get more attention. So then the people that don't lie by default, but they are open to it, they will see, well, I do have an incentive to lie, and they end up lying, right? They end up making a video that it's like POV, this is what happened when, and then you realize that it's super fake. And here's the thing, it might be my autistic side that it's like really not okay with things being fake. Well, more than being fake, being sold as something that's real and then being fake. Because of course, if it's like a comedy sketch, who cares, right? Like that doesn't matter. But if it's like, I had a discussion with this person the other day, or like I said this the other day and some stranger said that, like those, like once again, I get it that it's a small like evil, right? Like a small lie to get more engagement in this video. What's the problem, right? But my point is that there is a problem. There is a problem, I feel like, on a personal level, but whatever, I'm going to take my personal morality out of this. But as a society, like how are you going to trust people, at least over these platforms, when most of the things that you see are lied or fabricated? Like once again, it's hard for me to put this into words, but I feel like it's something important, right? I feel like it's something really bad that's happening, the normalization of lying. Because if you normalize lying to the point that it's, it's okay, it's a stage, but it's for the views, haha, then, I mean, where's the line, right? Like, and that's the thing that you see. I feel like before people used to stage things that were more harmless. Now it's been more and more staged with things that are outrageous. Like I've seen videos where the comments are really like a battlefield over something that was clearly staged. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much I can like keep repeating my point, but I think that this whole thing of having the incentive to lie, the normalization of lying, and also the consumption of so many lies, it's something that's really eroding something in society. I cannot say exactly what. I would say confidence, but I think it's more to it. Or maybe it is confidence, but it's confidence on a very special level, right? It's not a confidence of like, oh, I trust these people to maybe like not harm me, but do I trust these people to say the truth, right? And then if you don't trust the people to say the truth, then won't that bring other problems like in the future? Like how much can I trust this person's judgment? Or when this person says that something is true, how can I trust that? Or at least that's what's happening to me, you know? Like after a while of like going through social media and realizing that my feed was getting so much of these fake scenarios, fake things, it honestly just made me want to like log off. I was like, you know what? I think that this is not for me. And yeah, I mean, this might be like a more of a personal rant. Like, again, I care about truth a lot. But I still think that it's something that's bad for society as a whole. So yeah, I want to talk about that. I might talk about this a little bit more, you know, because I have a lot of like ideas. Well, if you haven't noticed by these daily apps, I do have a lot of ideas where I do have like a gut feeling, you know, I have like some sort of understanding, but I'm not still wise enough to put them all into a well-put sentences or words. This is basically what these videos are. Like I'm yapping about things that are like I see, but I'm not good enough, or maybe I just don't have enough time or incentive or just the willpower to do like a video essay with like putting every point that I want to make. But yeah, once again, anyway, normalization of lying, bad thing. We should put more consideration into that. If anyone's watching this video, I'm curious to know what you guys think. Yeah, like I'm honestly curious to know what other people think about this. Is it a big deal? Am I exaggerating? Please let me know. I'll see you tomorrow.